Hello everyone, myself Neha Shah from LG Institute of Engineering and Technology from the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering. Today I am going to explain you the Z transform examples from the fourth unit, which is Z transform from the subject of signals and system. So up to last session I had explained you what is Z transform, what is the basic requirement of Z transform along with the some standard signals Z transform, right? Now today we will solving some examples based on this. So the first example is find the Z transform of a raised to n u of n minus b raised to n u of minus n minus 1. Now suppose this kind of example is given to you, then how will you solving this example? As you know that from the standard signal a raised to n u of n, we know the Z transform of this, and similarly we will knowing the Z transform of minus b raised to n u of minus n minus 1, right? So we'll taking the Z transform of this both directly, and then from that we'll finding the final answer of the Z transform of this term along with its final combined ROC. So as you know that this kind of systems are considered as linear time invariant systems, so we can apply the linearity property on this. It means we can directly add the Z transform of a raised to n u of n term with minus b raised to n u of minus n minus 1 term. So if you want to solve this example starting with the Z transform of a raised to n u of n, as you know that the Z transform of a raised to n u of n equals to z upon z minus a, and the ROC of it equals to mod z greater than a. Similarly, if we're finding the Z transform of this term, it means Z transform of minus b raised to n u of minus n minus 1, it means for the anti-causal system, then the Z transform will be z upon z minus b, and the ROC of it equals to mod z is less than mod b. As you know that if the term u of n is given to you, then it will consider as the causal sequence, and if the causal sequence will be there, then the ROC will be greater than something. Similarly, if we will considering that u of minus n minus 1 term, so it will consider as the anti-causal part, it means totally negative part, and for that the ROC will be less than something. So mod z is less than mod b, right? So up to this two terms we had derived in the last session in the standard signal form, right? Now if you want to add this two terms, it means we have to add the Z transform of this two terms. So the final answer of Z transform using linearity property is Z transform of a raised to n u of n minus b raised to n u of minus n minus 1 equals to addition of this two term. Why we are adding this two term? Because if we are taking minus term, then it will gives you the answer as plus, right? So we have to just add these two things. So we will finding the final Z transform as z upon z minus a plus z upon z minus b. So this is the final answer of your Z transform. Now, if you want to find out the combined ROC of this, then what will be the combined ROC? Mod Z is greater than A, but it will be less than B, right? So it will be considered as the range in between A and B. So the ROC will be considered as mod Z is less than B, but it is greater than A. So combined ROC is mod Z in between A to B. Now, if we are drawing the ROC for this, how we will drawing the ROC? As you know that we will drawing the ROC on the Z plane. What is Z plane? On the horizontal axis, we will drawing the real part of Z, and on the vertical axis, we will drawing the imaginary part of Z. In this, we will drawing the two circles with a radius of A and B. So, if we are drawing the first circle with radius of A and the second circle with radius of B. So what is this Z transforms ROC? The combined ROC is in between A to B, right? So it will be in between this A to B region. So this is the final ROC for this term. So this way we can find out the Z transform of number of terms including in one signal. So this way we can find out the final ROC. So up to this we have taken the different standard Z transform sequences. The first one is dial of n means unit impulse signal. Then we have taken the shifted unit impulse signals like dial of n minus k, dial of n plus k, Then we have taken u of n means unit step signal. Then we have taken a raised to n u of n. Then minus b raised to n u of n minus 1. It means this one is the causal sequence and the second one is anti-causal sequence. And at last we have taken the combination of two parts means causal as well as anti-causal means we will taking the two-sided sequence means on both the sides if we will taking the some input, then this kind of two-sided input sequence will give you the final Z transform like this. And this one is the combined ROC, mode Z is in between mode A to mode B. So this way we can find out Z transform of any input sequence X of n, and we will also finding the ROC of it. Now we will taking some other example, like suppose if I am finding the Z transform of X of n equals to cos beta and u of n. So how we will finding Z transform of any sequence? If we want to find out Z transform of any sequence, so for that first of all we have to take the equation of Z transform. But here we will using the bilateral Z transform, right? So we'll starting with the equation of bilateral Z transform, which is x of z equals to summation n equals to minus infinite to infinite x of n z raised to minus n. Now in this, instead of x of n, we'll putting the value of it equals to cos beta and u of n. Now as you know that because of cos beta n, what is the value of cos beta n? As you know that the value of cos theta equals to e raised to j theta plus e raised to minus j theta divided by 2. So similarly, instead of theta, we will taking the beta n. So the value of cos beta n equals to e raised to j beta n plus e raised to minus j beta n divided by 2. Now we will putting the value of cos beta n this on the above equation. So the next step is x of z equals to summation n equals to minus infinite to infinite e raised to j beta n plus e raised to minus j beta n upon 2 into u of n into z raised to minus n. So instead of cos beta n, we have put the value of it. Right. Now from here we have to solve this term. As you know that the value of u of n will gives you the causal sequence, means its value will be 1 in between n equals to 0 to infinite, and for n equals to minus infinite to minus 1, its value will be 0. So 0 multiplied by any term will gives you the answer equals to 0. It means this range will convert in between n equals to 0 to infinite when we are taking u of n term. So if we will applying the rule of unit step signal, then the next step x of z equals to summation n equals to 0 to infinite e raised to j beta n plus e raised to minus j beta n divided by 2 into z raised to minus n. Right. Now the next step is we will simplifying this term. As you know that a plus b into c, it will convert in the form of a into c plus b into c, and we'll applying summation to both the term. So similarly we'll applying this rule over here. So the term will be 1 by 2 is common part, so it will taking outside of the summation. Here we will taking summation n equals to 0 to infinite e raised to j beta n into z raised to minus n plus summation n equals to 0 to infinite e raised to minus j beta n into z raised to minus n. Now here we'll applying the rule of summation. What is the rule of summation? We'll applying the rule as summation n equals to 0 to infinite a raised to n, then its answer equals to 1 upon 1 minus a. Right. So we have to convert this in the form of a raised to n. So we'll simplify this term in the form of a raised to n. So e raised to j beta n will convert in terms of e raised to j beta into n. Similarly, z raised to minus n will convert in the form of z raised to minus 1 into n. It means z raised to minus 1 into n means z raised to minus n. Right. Similarly, we will converting this term in the form of a raised to n. So here the value of a equals to e raised to minus j beta z raised to minus 1. So now we will converting this in the form of 1 upon 1 minus a. Here the value of capital A equals to e raised to j beta z raised to minus 1. Here the value of capital A equals to e raised to minus j beta z raised to minus 1. So this one is the final term. Now we have to simplify this by cross multiplication of these two terms. So this term multiply over here and this term will multiply over here. Divide by both the term. Right. So the next step is x of z equals to 1 by 2, 1 minus e raised to minus j beta z raised to minus 1 plus 1 minus e raised to minus j beta z raised to minus 1 upon both the term. Now we are simplifying this term as 2 minus z raised to minus 1 e raised to j beta plus e raised to minus j beta divided by the multiplication of these two terms. Now if we are simplifying this term, as you know that example is given to you in the form of cos or sine, then at the final answer we have to convert that it in the form of cos and sine. So we are converting this in the form of cos and sine. So what will be the cos term? Cos theta equals to e raised to j theta plus e raised to minus j theta divided by 2, right? So here we will apply that rule that e raised to j beta plus e raised to minus j beta divided by 2 will convert it in the form of cos beta, right? Here the term 2 is missing, so we will multiplying and dividing this term by 2. So this term will convert in that form. Now this 2 will be divided over here. So the first term will convert in the form of 1 minus the second term will convert in this format. Now this term indicating cos beta n, and the below term is also considering as cos beta n. So this one is the final term. Now here we have to simplify this term as z raised to minus 1 and z raised to minus 2 will convert in the form of z square and z. So what will be the solution? Z into z minus cos beta divided by z square minus 2 cos z beta plus 1. Because we have used e raised to j beta plus e raised to minus j beta divided by 2 equals to cos beta. So this is your final answer of z transform of cos beta and u of n. Now we have to find out the ROC of it. How are we finding the ROC? As you know that we have applied the rule of summation as summation n equals to 0 to infinite a raised to n equals to 1 upon 1 minus a, right? But this rule will be true if we are taking mod a is less than 1. Because if this condition is satisfied, then and then only we can apply that rule, right? So if you want to find out ROC, there are two parts. The first term has the value of capital A equals to e raised to j beta z raised to minus 1. This should be less than 1. And the second term has the value of capital A equals to e raised to minus j beta z raised to minus 1. This should be less than 1. Now we have to simplify this two term. So what will be the solution? E raised to j beta upon z. This should be less than 1. Z inverse means 1 by z, right? So similarly, we will finding this term as e raised to minus j beta divided by z. This should be less than 1. Now we will multiply this z over here in the both term. So the term will be e raised to j beta. This should be less than mod z. And the second term is mod of e raised to minus j beta. This should be less than mod z. Now as you know that the value of e raised to j beta equals to cos beta plus j sin beta, and the value of e raised to minus j beta equals to cos beta minus j sin beta. Now if you want to find out mod of e raised to j beta and mod of e raised to minus j beta, so what will be the value? Under root of real part square plus imaginary part square, right? So if we are finding the mod of these two values, then what will be the real part? Cos beta, and what will be the imaginary part? Sin beta or minus sin beta, right? So if we are taking the real part square plus imaginary part square in under root, so the value will be cos square beta plus sin square beta, it will be under root. Now as you know that cos square beta plus sin square beta equals to 1. So under root 1 will gives you the answer equals to 1 in both the cases. So instead of this mod of e raised to j beta and e raised to minus j beta, we will putting the value as 1 for both the case. So the combined ROC will consider as a mod that is greater than 1. Because 1 is less than mod that, it means mod that is greater than 1. So now from this, if you want to draw the ROC, how will drawing the ROC? On the z plane, we will drawing the real part and imaginary part, and here the ROC is mod z greater than 1. So for that we have to take the unit circle, means circle with a radius of 1, and the ROC is mod z greater than 1. Greater than 1 means it will consider as outer side of this circle. So this is your final ROC. So this way we can solve any example of Z transform, and we can also find out its ROC, and then we will representing it in the form of Z plate. In the next session, I will start the next topic, which is properties of Z transform. Thank you so much.